All right, so we're going to continue with the orientation notes. All these notes are from the handbook, so you'll have a packet right here that is going to look like this. That is for you to take with you. That is your copy. So starting off, you must wear scrubs to the client's house. You may wear any color that you want. It doesn't matter as long as it's appropriate for work. Uh, if the client does not want you to wear scrubs in the home, then they do have to get a signature, and you have to bring it up to the office saying that they do not want you to wear scrubs. Now, some people might like that because they don't want people to know that they have home care. But if we notice a pattern that all of your patients never had any special request, and now all of a sudden that they do, you will be brought in and talked to. Paydays are every Monday. Checks will be handed out from 1 to 5. If you have a client starting at 1 or a little bit before 1, you can always call up here and see if you can get your check early. Make sure you call every Monday, even if you've been doing it for every Monday, coming up here to get your check early because of your client. Make sure you call because sometimes the checks are delayed because of UPS. We do not get them usually until about 11 or 12. If you do have somebody come pick up your check, you do need to call and let us know who it's going to be to come pick up your check, and they also have to bring a photo ID. If you work all day long with any of our clients, so let's say from 8 to 6, and you're not able to come pick up your check, then you can have either somebody come pick up your check or you could be eligible for direct deposit. Now, to be eligible for direct deposit, you have to be turning in all your documentation like you're supposed to be, completing out your charting like you're supposed to be, and not having any problems with us asking you to come into the office for anything. Not everybody is eligible for direct deposit. So there is a form through your orientation packet that you filled out for your direct deposit, but that doesn't mean that you're getting direct deposit. That's just for later on for future reference. Overtime is not usually given, and if it is, it needs to be approved first. So if now everybody does make mistakes. So if the scheduler gives you a client and you realize that's going to put you in 42 hours, always bring it to our attention and ask, "Am I approved for this?" This is because everybody makes mistakes, so we just don't want it to be come back later and say, oh, you did 42 hours and it wasn't approved. So always just double check your hours and make sure that if you do get over 40 hours, it was approved by the administrator. If everybody if your shift falls on a holiday, then you are required to work unless the patient calls and says that they do not want you to come. So if you work Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week with your client and Christmas falls on Friday, you have to go to your client's house. Now, if the client calls you and says, "Hey, I don't want you to come because it's Christmas, stay with your family," you need to call us and let us know that the client did not want you to come that day. That is for any time while you're working here at Care Plus, not just for holidays. The reason for that being is because we do have a lot of mental status clients here. Um, and they might be upset because last week you didn't take them to the store for the fifth time. And so they might call and say, "Hey, she left early even though last week even though they let you leave early." So always have good communication with the office to let us know if the client calls off, sends you home early, or asks you to come a little bit later. Um, the case managers are very strict with hours, so we have to make sure that these hours are even approved. So if they say come at 5 instead of 2, we have to get that approved by the case manager because the case manager may say that you're not allowed to be there at 5, which then we won't be able to pay you for that. So always have good communication with the office to let us know what's going on with your client's house. If you're going to be even 15 minutes late, we need to know. This is so that we can also kind of defend you on your side. If the client does say, "Hey, don't come on a certain day," then we know that you called us, you told us that the client told you that, and we confirmed with the client that day that they did not want you there. And some of our patients have dementia, so they might not even remember that you didn't come that day or there was a problem. So we want to make sure we're able to let the case manager know exactly what the situation was. On Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, New Year's Day, and Independence Day, you'll make $1 extra per hour. So if you don't work that day, then you're not eligible for that holiday pay. But if you do work any hours, you'll get $1 extra. So if you make $9 on a regular basis, you'll make $10 for that specific day and for those clients. Excessive call-offs are not tolerated and will lead to disciplinary action. No-shows are not tolerated. So if you do a no-call, no-show, that is grounds for termination. That is basically that you quit. And we can report you to the nurses aid board that you did no call no show, because that is abandonment of client. So if you're not able to make it to your client's house, always let us know. And if you are wanting to call off, you need to give us at least a 2-hour notice so that we're able to try to find you some coverage for that client. Now, we may say, I know you're sick, but you need to go to your client's house. Maybe we can try to find somebody to kind of come and cover your shift. But if we're not able to, you are still obligated to go to that client's house. If we tell you we cannot get that shift covered and you have to go, that means you have to go. These patients rely on you to make sure that they get what they need. Bedbound clients, they can't get out of the bed to even feed themselves. So always keep that in mind. And if you do need a call off, then you need to call off within before 2 hours before your shift, so that we can try to get it covered. If you need to request a day off, we need to have a 2-week notice to request a day off so that we can get that shift covered as well. If you decide that you no longer want to work with Care Plus, please give us a 2 weeks notice so that we can get the clients covered and they're not going to go without care. The other thing is, if you do not give us a 2-week notice, then we will have to drop all your remaining wage down to minimum wage. So anything that's left owed to you will be minimum wage. Everybody from the date of their hire is on a 90-day probation period. This means no call-offs are allowed at this time unless it's an emergency. Let's see. There is not a specific time that you'll get a raise. Now, you will have a 90-day probation evaluation, but that does not mean you're going to get a raise at that time. We understand people are doing their hardest to work best, for their clients and everything, but sometimes we're not able to give raises at that specific time. So what we do is, if we decide that you deserve a raise, the HR person will write your name down and put it on the list of people that they feel that deserves a raise at the time of their evaluation. And when the administrator decides to give out raises, or when they're able to give out raises, I will take that list and give it to the administrator. The administrator will then check over all the reasons why I propose that person should get the raise, and we'll continue to look at what they've been doing since the evaluation. Now, if you've started to slack off since your evaluation, you're not doing your documentation like you should, then you'll probably be taken off that list. The HR manager cannot approve any raises unless the administrator says it is okay. So there's not a set time period of when you'll receive a raise. We do offer AFLAC. AFLAC is offered to you 60 days after hire. We have Rebecca Hunley. She'll come into the office. That's our AFLAC representative. She'll come into the office every month and talk to anybody that is eligible for it. Now, that they have all kinds of policies. She'll be able to talk to you more about that, and that will be taken out of your check weekly. The other thing that we offer is health insurance. Health insurance is offered to use after 60 days as well, if you work more than 32 hours. So if you work more than 32 hours, you will be required to sign a form. Either you waive it or you want it. We don't require you to have it. That is the state of Ohio that requires us to provide it to anybody that works more than 32 hours. So you can decide if you want it or not. We just need the signature saying yes or no. If you do decide, it has a prices of how much it is each week. It's not a very big amount, but it just depends on what kind of coverage you're looking for. The other thing is attached to this packet is excessive absence and tardiness. That is our policy that about our absences. So if you want to keep that on file for anytime you have disciplinary action, that's kind of what to go by. What is allowed and what is not allowed. And then we'll also be going over here shortly how to do Access, which is our system that we chart in, and how to do our EVV, which is how you get your signatures when you go out to your client's home.